I forgot to pull this down. What is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we are going to look at the energy of abundance. I dubbed it. That's why it's dubbed Sunday Fun Day, I should say. Just looking at how we can connect with that value, draw more of that into our lives via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. Super happy to have you here. I apologize, my voice is a little bit hoarse. I've been kind of combating, vacillating. It's the time of year. It's beautiful out where I'm located. It's a beautiful snowy morning. So peaceful, which is an energy we definitely need, especially as it kind of relates to our abundance, right? Like, it's easy to get caught up in all the excess, the noise, which can definitely distract us from placing our time, our energy into investments that are yielding fruit, right? That are actually like bringing good, positive things into our life. It's a fun time of year, right? Like, it's the holiday season. There is a lot of abundance, so to speak. Sagittarian energy is all about expansion and growth and leveling up, connecting with our higher resources, so to speak. And yeah, that definitely means that we do have to put in some of the work, but Jupiter has been positively aspected. Jupiter is our abundance in the astrology. It's been positively aspected to Saturn. So Saturn's our hard work and Jupiter is the abundance. And so it's basically saying if we can kind of work, if we can understand the deeper meaning, the learning lesson behind things, places where we might be doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results, that type of vibe. Then we're going to see success. Then we're going to see things that work out in our favor. We're also in this huge waiting game time. Sorry if that was a little bit complex, but definitely this energy of things aren't moving quickly, and we also have to wait to see how things pan out, right? Like, we can kind of throw some, cast our net, so to speak, and see what we're getting in return. And that in and of itself has been a slow go. That's why I like to start off all my readings with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked or limited. It's a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. I'm also like totally down for comments, questions in the chat box as I am doing the reading. I'm going to be as intentional as possible. Sorry, I just moved my mug to make sure that I can see the chat box so I can respond. I might not answer specific questions per se, like I've been mentioning on the regular, that's on my radar, just not today, unfortunately. But I love, communicating, chatting about the energy. Any questions about the energy, definitely drop comments below. I love to connect. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific energy, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you're interested in a realignment of self, reconnection of self, your mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we are aligned in self, when we feel strong, grounded, that's really where we can connect with our happiness, our abundance, our fulfillment, our success. That's where we're manifesting the desires of our heart. And I would love to help support that for you in any way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, with that, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Amen. All right, so I'm hearing this energy, or like you're kind of in this space where I feel like there is some reevaluation happening around your abundance, so to speak. It feels like it's like what that definition means to you is changing a little bit. You know, you might have been seeking after something specific lately that you do want to see manifest. And I feel like it's still in focus. It's still on your mind. It's still playing in the background to some capacity. But I think the other things that perhaps might have felt like they've gotten in the way, or whatever that looks like, right? It can just be as simple as life, you know, life kind of demanding, needing more of your time, your energy, your responsibility, etc. It's also been redefining what this end goal looks like for you, or even to the point, like I'm hearing, like what is bringing you happiness, right? What is bringing you abundance? I love that release is the overarching energy for us this week. It's interesting because astrologically, there's tension. You know, we're in fire season. Fire can be a little bit hot-headed, aggressive, hostile. You know, you can always see it. Like whenever you go out, people are just a little bit amped up, you know, on the road, driving, trying to get from here to there, in the stores, whatever, right? And that's basically what I'm trying to get at, is that's kind of what fire energy invites in. And so it looks like surface tension. It just looks like the things that we're getting frustrated, annoyed with. But some of this stuff is what I'm hearing with this release card is also stuff that we don't have to put energy into. We can let it go. You know, yeah, we can maybe like acknowledge we're annoyed or frustrated about something, but we don't have to sit and stew in it, is what I'm hearing. And like I was saying, I'm picking up that like as you kind of progress towards whatever this goal is, or, you know, just whatever kind of abundance you're trying to cultivate in your life, I'm hearing more stability. And I think especially with this new beginnings, like you're creating something completely new for yourself, excuse me. I'm drawn to like the rubble in the background. So it's not like you don't have any experience. I feel like you're actually creating from the rubble, right? You're looking at the pieces that have fallen apart, that have collapsed. You're learning from it. You're growing from it. You're tuning in to understand what is actually serving you or not. I know I talk about that a lot on this channel, but as Pluto has moved into Aquarius astrologically, it's challenging us to make changes around things that like we do just to do, or to plug into that aspect of our life and change it into something that's actually adding value and feeling good and supportive and like allowing us to thrive. As much as there is, you know, and I don't want to get too much into this, but as much as there's like a lot of chaos going on in the world, it's also a very invigorating time. Aquarian energy is about innovation. It's about being creative. It is about not being afraid to, go your own way, to cultivate your own path, to march to the beat of your own drum. And that's definitely the energy I'm picking up for you this week. I think there are some surface things, annoying things that like are in the way. Yes, but they're also coming in to kind of highlight where we might attach, where our unconscious is playing certain tapes, certain beliefs about what we think to be true about ourselves, about our wealth, about our abundance, right? Or how, and I'm saying specifically how that's conflicted, how it's become this thing of like relying more on the lies than the actual truth. Yeah, 100%, as I say that. I love it. The cards never lie, the Damien. It really signifies the chains that bind us, the places that we do enslave ourselves to people, places, and things that just really don't need to be. I mean, the moral of the story is we can always break free. I'm not saying that breaking free is an easy process. It actually is like quite hard. It is the quote unquote path of healing. And that's why it's hard to do, whatever. A lot of people aren't interested in it. Not judging it, not saying good, bad, right, or wrong. But again, like we have to get ourselves out of these loops. I was listening to this commentary on AI, Supra AI, and like the guy was basically saying like we're just all a bunch of language models, right? Like we just kind of like repeat the same, phrases and things like, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? Great. It's just almost like the same expectant thing. And those are the things that, yes, can cultivate more efficiency in our life, 100%. But at the same time, we want to, our soul is asking to break free from them. And when I'm thinking about this in relation to abundance, we often find ourselves, whether it's financial abundance or emotional or relational, whatever that abundance is for you that you're seeking, we often end up in the same patterns because of the beliefs, right? And actually, as I'm saying this came up a lot for us last week, the myths that we buy into, and specifically that other people sell us. Not to point the finger, not to blame. It's not about that. It's about recognition, because the more we put ourselves around those people in those situations, the more we receive the input into our language model of like what they think about us, especially if it is a myth. You're not this, you're not going to do this, you're this, shame on you, judge, shame, blame, right? That kind of vibe. The more we kind of output that, right? And the whole idea is to be able to manifest new beginnings in a powerful way. And you're already there, right? Beginning of the week, I think we're feeling a little bit stronger. I'm seeing that astrologically. I'm going to put the magician back in and shuffle. I'm seeing that astrologically. It's less tense, or emotionally, we're feeling a little bit better. We're feeling more inspired. So it's kind of easy to overcome the places where we're feeling tension or resistance. Of course, as I'm saying this, we get the Three of Swords, which is grief. But I'm hearing like that's where the choice for new beginnings is coming out of. It does carry some weight. Actually, this came up in our in the daily short. Check it out if you're interested. But we often, we don't normally, I mean, yes, but like normally we have to make changes because we go through hardship, because we go through challenge, because we recognize that these patterns should not be allowed, right? Like these patterns can definitely take over and bring a lot of pain and suffering. And there's aspects of this that perhaps you haven't thought about. So forgotten is in our blocked energy this week. So this is stuff that maybe you haven't paid attention to, that you've kind of put on the back burner. I don't think it's a lack of awareness. I feel like you're still kind of understanding. Like your energy's coming in that, like, yeah, again, I think the back burner is the best way to say it. You've put something on hold, and this could be whatever this painful thing is. Like I said, it did come up in our in this short this morning. Needing to process through, like maybe even kind of forgetting how certain things do emotionally trigger us, right? I was talking to someone the other day, and they were like, oh, and I was just saying how, like, I was doing great around a situation that kind of had brought me some difficulties, right? And I just was like, I feel like way better and blah, blah, blah. And they pointed out, they're like, yeah, because you don't have to deal with it anymore, right? But then when it comes back up and it kind of evokes these emotions that we either have forgotten about or we put on the sidelines, it does force us to make changes. And again, I like this, especially, maybe I'm getting a little too deep, I apologize, but like, especially when it comes to our abundance, I just feel really strongly that it's like, it is about recognizing those patterns. It's about recognizing those patterns that really do lead to detriment so that we can rebalance ourselves. And we have the opportunity to do that a little bit more the beginning of the week. I think it's really important beginning of the week to build a strong foundation for yourself, or really recognize 100%, bring clarity, really highlight places where you might be hanging on to patterns or thoughts or beliefs that just really aren't serving you. It is going to come up, right? Like how we talked about, because something is popping up midweek where I'm getting like and Neptune goes direct. Duh. Sorry. I'm like, when Neptune goes direct, I mean, it's not like this immediate, the veil is lifted, but it definitely has this vibe of like clarity is coming in. When Neptune's in retrograde, it's in retrograde in Pisces, which is a water sign. So just lots of like emotional energy, intuitive energy, and it can get a little bit confusing about what's what and who's who. When it goes direct, however, it is this breath of fresh air. And I do feel that, like, the energy just kind of lifts a little bit more. Not as much, the moon is not as happy. So our emotions are feeling a little bit rubbed the wrong way, especially with people or situations that we love, that we care about. And especially in environments that are like forcing us to like be better, right? Like sometimes we do close chapters. Sometimes things do shift and change. And to me, this is a little bit of like emotional nostalgia or resisting the change, or especially in areas where we acknowledge things about other people that like are kind of hard to acknowledge because our ego's resisting it a little bit. You're able to find your happiness 100%, like, or happiness is on your mind. Let's look at this. 10 of Cups. The Empress is in the blocked energy. Okay, so it feels like this kind of goes back to, this is exactly why we're seeing this bell curve. It's the same pattern playing out over again. Mercury is in opposition to Uranus, rebelling, maybe even the way that I feel like some of this unconscious patterning is uncovered. It looks like whatever has been blocking you, it's like you're seeing it more, like it's not maybe just not one specific thing, right? Like maybe it's just like a way of being, like I said, or a belief system, or your mind always goes back to this place that's really kind of limiting you, right? Like when we have anxieties or fears, or, we're again, that Neptune in retrograde in Pisces, where like we're buying into the illusion. Those are being highlighted, and it is beneficial, but it is always easy to revert back to certain patterns. I'm going to clarify this Empress, because the Empress is such a powerful energy. She is like such an abundant energy, especially in the tarot. She knows how to attract that abundance to her, but she's being blocked in your energy this week. Venus is having a hard time with Jupiter. Both Venus and Jupiter do represent our abundance to some capacity. But Venus is more the way we beautify, and Jupiter is more like how we go after our abundance. And they're not really vibing with each other right now. Venus is in Sagittarius, so she's like ready to be on to the next thing, where Jupiter's lingering in Cancer in retrograde. So it's like, I want what's safe and what's comfortable. It's having a really hard, I was hearing like dead weight, right? And maybe this is where some of this repeat patterns are coming up again for you midweek. It looks like you're able to see this clearly, because there is this immediate like, oh shit. And I don't even know that this is coming from you. Let me clarify this a little bit. This could just be like some of the resistance that you're dealing with around you. Again, the moral of the story is what we need to release, specifically what we kind of have forgotten about, right? Or like maybe, again, just not addressed because of whatever. No shade. Four of Swords. Oop, the Devil. Eek. Someone's bad side comes out, and the Chariot. It's like, I feel like this is someone who needs to win, whether this is you or someone else you're dealing with. It does feel like a bullying energy, you know? The Devil and the Chariot, it's just like, yeah, someone who's like walking all over everybody else. And it's in the face of the Empress. So it's in the face of someone. Okay, we have the Justice card, Justice System. Could be dealing with legalities. The Queen of Cups. I feel like your instincts are really telling you to go a certain way, but for some reason it feels a little bit hard to pull the trigger. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure who or what this energy is to you. It's an energy that you're very aware of has negative effects, right? It's really like just kind of low vibey, you know? Seven of Swords is sneaky, but you can kind of like sift through. You can kind of see through people's BS. The Devil is just, it's manipulative, it's controlling, it's someone who is not afraid to use really low vibey, like just kind of like come after you or just kind of do some shitty stuff. I mean, maybe that's the best way to say it. It's almost like they have no honor, or they have no, they don't really care, right? They'll do whatever. No values type vibe. If it means that they can come out on top. You might not even be seeing some of this, like protect yourself. Make sure that you're being smart with who and what you're giving your time and energy to. It looks like you really need to be aware or conscious or make plans for some type of ending. We're getting it all across the board, and it kind of looks like, you know, I'm not saying this in a fear-mongering way, but someone or something, I don't know if they're coming after you, whatever that means. You know, this could even just be like competition at work, or right, that like forces you into a bind in your job and your money is being messed with, or something's kind of happening underneath the surface. I feel like you're getting clarity around this midweek. So pay attention to patterns that pop up, patterns within yourself, patterns within the people around you. Remember, this is a general collective reading, and this is like, I'm just talking about the energy. So just as you're feeling it, so are the people that you're dealing with. And especially when they're people who like, you've been kind of just picking up this either bullying behavior or it's manipulative. One minute it's like this, another minute it's like this, and you never know which version you're going to get. That type of vibe. All right, let's close this out. End of the week. I'm going to pull a few cards on this. I feel like the message has been pretty clear. End of the week, it seems to be a little bit more of the same. You might have this like knee-jerk reaction because the Damien comes up. So I'm hearing like, if this is not like something that you're doing, if this is something that you feel like you're kind of being oppressed against, etc., like someone might try to push extra hard end of the week, push their agenda. It could even be in communication with you. We're getting King of Cups, Two of Swords, Three of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles. Someone's forcing you to decide. Someone's forcing you to make a decision. And it feels like it doesn't come through in a very nice way, obviously, right? Especially if you have been letting something manipulate you, or they're kind of just putting you between a rock and a hard place. Again, it feels like there's like a pressing of the agenda as the week closes out. This might even be some behavior that you've forgotten about, or like they've tried to hide. Or again, it could even be coming from within yourself. You're going to know, right? Like you're going to know if like something gets triggered and, you're acting all wild. Speaking of, well, because that's kind of where this Black Moon Lilith and Uranus is also in retrograde in Taurus, which is a really stubborn energy. Uranus is all about unexpected change or things that just happen that like maybe come out of left field. Or I think specifically with it in Taurus, it's like resisting that change. And I feel like there are some things, we have the full moon that come up. It's conversations or happenings, situations that are fueled purely off of emotion, right? This is definitely this vibe that like someone's saying something that like maybe they wouldn't normally say had they just taken a minute. Mars is also tensely aspected to Neptune at this point. Like I said, Neptune's gone direct. So Mars can be a little bit fickle right now because it wants to push things ahead. We've had a lot of retrogrades. Things have just been evolving slowly. Like time is moving fast, but situations, what we want, our end goals are evolving really slowly. It's annoying, right? I think. Personal opinion. But with Mars tensely aspected to Neptune, it kind of goes back to this arrogant energy of like, oh, well, I got this, right? Like I can handle it, or all, you know what I mean? Where if intuitively you're kind of getting this message of like, don't push the agenda, which is exactly what this is saying. Don't push the agenda. If you know someone's not going to budge, is it really worth it? Or if someone comes at you with fighting words, is it really worth it, right? Friendship, community, connection is being blocked in this dynamic. It's requiring you to be temperate, meaning you're not letting, you can see through, right? See through this person, this situation 100% clearly. This is Knight of Wands, Four of Cups, someone who's being emotionally immature, taking the situation for granted. I mean, you're still here, right? Like, you're still showing up on some level. Because you believe in something, right? Page of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Like, you want to be a part of something. You know, you want, again, to invest in your own abundance. Nine of Pentacles is that, like, I've done it. Like, look at what I've created. Look at what I've cultivated for myself. It's having pride in that. And something is just inhibiting that for you. Again, I don't think this is something that you've kind of thought about for a minute. So that's where it feels a little bit out of left field. I'm going to close this out. Sorry. Is this like, okay, we're at 30 minutes. I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're finding messages that are resonating for you here. There's more pentacles. So it is, whatever this is it's like just messing with your money. It's messing with your, and not that abundance is synonymous with money. I get that 100%. But you're being put in a situation where it's like, it's time to make a change. We've gotten that a lot, right? We're seeing the World, which is endings, and the Fool, which is new beginnings. So you're being pushed forward in a direction. Boron, I'm going to take it. I'm going to read out of the book. I love it. It's super poetic. Such a beautiful deck. It is the periodic table, the elements on the periodic table. And the company is UC. Definitely check them out. They're so cool. It's like beautiful old world cards. So we got boron. We got aluminum. Very malleable. And we have, very interesting, iridium. Okay, let's look into it. Let's see. Just as a side note too, well, I know it's like the end of the reading, but while I'm thinking about this, I will be posting the rest of the monthly reads. I apologize. Some of it was a slow go this week. We had some crazy happy full moon vibes with the full moon in Gemini. So lots of unexpected kind of popped up. I always appreciate your patience with me. All right, let's get into this. So Boron says, outwardly guileless and plotting, Boron has cultivated a split personality. She is secret in action, skilled at hiding her imaginative, riskier self from uninitiated eyes. Posing as predictable and dull washerwoman in the bright light of day, she patiently awaits her more venturesome, rare, and starlit personality. This personality, formed in the green pagan antiquity, walks barefoot from town to town on a pilgrimage to find her true tincture. Singing as she walks and building bonds with like-minded souls, she discovers the woman she has to be. Seeker, duality, alter ego, self-discovery, kinship, alienation. I really feel like it kind of just highlights some of the energies that you are dealing with. And as you are navigating these people, these situations, it is highlighting where adjustments do need to be made, especially as it relates to your abundance, to your wealth, right? We do need those like-minded souls. We do need that alchemy. Sometimes we are interacting with people, situations that bring out the worst in us, or, right, like it just is a messy situation, and we do have to know when to move on. Aluminum says, activated and visionary, aluminum is a dynamic presence with a prodigious landscape of supreme achievements trailing him. Flawlessly pragmatic, he has an affinity for collaborations that can fully exploit his creative, hardworking character and limitless potential. Technical perfection that triumphs over gravity are at the core of his inventive originality, giving him a confident swagger that boasts, I can do it better. Aluminum is a mind that belongs to the future, but carries the moment with effortless grace. It's driven, leader, genius, inventive, confident, self-possessed. And I feel like this is a lot about what Spirit is asking you to embody, right? Taking on this presence of, having confidence within yourself, not being afraid to even maybe stand up to the people, the situations that do try to harass or take advantage or manipulate or control. And that's easier said than done, right? Like in our own quiet mind, it's way easier to believe that like we would do that, but a lot of times when we're faced with it, it's easier said than done, right? Iridium says it's a hallucinating tale begun in a diametric origin. The Earth's molten core and meteorite frozen rock is an epic story of primal life, resistant to worldly coercion, triumphantly soaring with constellations. She recounts heavens and earth history from a virginal base, an iridescent superhero from the nocturnal dark, whose ancient catastrophic terrestrial arrival reawakened consciousness, within its animal soul and returned it to satisfying wholeness. How we channel her powerful, swirling energies from that time on is the gradually polarizing, hallucinating tale of civilization. It symbolizes larger than life, lustrous, fateful, transformative destiny, right? So we're at this time where there is a lot transforming, and it is directly connected to our destiny. It is directly connected to how our life is unfolding. Again, that Pluto moving into Aquarius. And even, I feel like that's a lot of the silver lining, not to oversimplify or invalidate, but I think that there's just like this reminder that like we do have control. We do have control what we invest in. We can believe in big, hopeful things and go after those goals and achieve them. And we can align with people that support us to do that, and what kind of world would that create? I'm not trying to be like too pie in the sky or idealistic. I know there's tension helps us grow. Conflict, frustration, that's right. That is what pushes us forward to rework what has been broken down, and it is through this process of releasing. It is through this process of letting go of the people, places, and things that it's time. That's what I'm hearing. I don't think this is something that you should have already done. It feels again like it's definitely getting caught up in your ability to either make money or have stability or feel abundant in certain areas in your life. And I feel like it's coming out so that you can make the changes. Again, it might be a little bit of a messy path to get there, but I see you being open, being mindful of what's going on and of the change. And there is this element of trust. There is this element of faith in the process. You're ready to work at things from a different perspective, and I feel like some of that is being revealed this week. So thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below. I love to hear. I love to connect with the community. Just say hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. Know it blesses my heart. And I am sending love and blessings back to you. Stay tuned for those monthlies. They will drop today. All right, have a great day.